This is HIMYM Superfans. Hey there, Chris.
Hey, James.
Hello, Mother fans. This is a show where we talk about the CBS comedy How I Met Your Mother.
We are going to ruin this show for you.
By ruin it, of course, we mean we're going to spoil the plot points for the entire series. We're busy getting ready to premiere our podcast in January. In the meantime, we thought we'd dig into our archives and show you some of our early test episodes.
The sound quality might be a little off, and there's possibly a part where my nose whistles.
And a dog barking.
We've come a long way, I would say. And we made this. In the meantime, while you're waiting for our premiere episode, we hope you enjoy this.
So, Chris, today we're going to watch Sorry Bro. It's from Season 4, it's Episode 16, and this aired on March 9th, 2009. Written by Greg Gerald and Matthew Zinman. These two guys, I looked them up on the wiki, and they each have an episode or two per season as a writing credit, and they are also sort of like on the writing staff, so they do a lot of other stuff behind the scenes on the show. And then, of course, directed by Pam Fryman. Chris, this episode, beginning of a two-part Karen arc. That's pretty much why I wanted to talk about this one, Chris. What goes through your mind when I mention the episode Sorry Bro, the first appearance of Karen?
Well, it's not very nice to meet Karen.
No.
No, she's pretty awful.
Yeah. And then the group really gives her crap for her douchiness, and they want to Ted dump her, but she's really not that bad otherwise, except for the fact that she keeps cheating on Ted. If she could just stop doing that, and the only thing was that she was just kind of annoying, then the group's complaints about her would be, less important.
Yeah, I think that's true. I was thinking about that when you said you wanted to do the episode. It's like I know people who do like an open relationship, and I know people who do like monogamy, and I think that the thing is, it's just that they wanted different things, or I'm not sure that Karen knew what she wanted. Maybe that's it, but. Clearly, the relationship that Ted wanted wasn't what he was getting, but he still wanted to stay in it anyway.
Yeah, and man, we're going to record the commentary for the next episode right after this, and man, once we watch these two episodes back to back, you'll kind of see where I'm coming from when I say this is kind of an important relationship for Ted and a very important part of his life. This is post being left at the altar sort of crisis Ted for an extended period, and this is sort of the peak of, or at least a very significant example of his post-left-at-the-altar behavior.
Yeah, that wasn't lost on me, the fact that this is in Season 4, so This is after Stella left him at the altar, so he's feeling really down and vulnerable, probably self-esteem is in the toilet, so, what does he do? He goes to somebody who will be with him, but not treat him well, which is what he thinks he probably deserves. That's my guess.
Yeah.
So something like that. So, it's a good time in the series to have Karen show up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
she's been mentioned before, but this is the first time she appears on screen. She's played by Laura Prepon, one of my celebrity crushes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Do you prefer blonde from this series, the redhead from 70s Show, or the scary drug trafficking lesbian brunette dark-haired woman from Orange is the New Black?
Well, I actually haven't seen Orange is the New Black. I've been told that I should, and I haven't gotten to that yet. I didn't know she was a brunette in that, although it's funny that she's made the whole circuit.
Yeah.
But so far, I don't know. Just for her, I'd say the redhead.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, so I love Laura Prepon. She's in it. Scooter's in this, played by David Burka, and Blauman, Bilson, Wendy the waitress, Kurt Iron Man Irons makes a cameo.
Hey folks, James here breaking in. You know, back when we first started this, we had a commentary track that we'd expect you to sync up with your Netflix or DVD, and since we had a lot of our fans say that they weren't really ready to do that, we decided to cut that out. And what you'll hear next is our post-commentary discussion.
So that's part one. That was all told in flashbacks and back to their college days, back to a couple of days ago, apparently, back to other times in the characters' lives, and then no one else in the bar. So kind of a couple of interesting story elements for me, and the beginning of Karen's story, and now the group gets to interact with Karen in the next episode.
Right. Yeah, that was a lot of different things there. Like, you never see the bar like that. You never spend quite as much time seeing them back in college. So there's definitely some new things there.
Yeah. And so as we go into the second one, I just got to reiterate that the episodes after Shelter Island, where Ted gets left at the altar, sort of shows Ted's recovery from it in a very interesting way. I don't know if it's believable. It certainly is better than a sitcom where they just hit a reset switch. But in the very next episode, he goes into full denial. He's hiding underneath the table. Then after that, he becomes a woo girl, basically. Then the Naked Man, one of those famous episodes, he tries the Naked Man, which is something I don't think he would do normally. And he gets in a fight, again, something he wouldn't normally do. And in the very the episode right before this one, he's seducing Barney's fake wife from the time, they went to see Barney's fake family.
Yeah, the Stinsons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that Ted would have done all of those things if he hadn't gotten left at the altar and been in a really low place. But I don't know that that's a bad thing either. None of those things are like inherently bad by themselves. And he was trying to figure out life, and it sounded like he was grieving.
He's exploring
the loss of that relationship,
exploring his limits, his options, trying to define his personality. I think after being so shooken up by promised your life to someone and then they take it back, and it might make someone really introspective and act out at the same time. So
yeah,
Ted's sort of doing common. A whole bunch of different things. So
yeah, I think it's pretty realistic in that way. For him to do all of these things, maybe they go a little bit sitcom with it since it's a sitcom,
right?
But I don't know. Yeah, all sorts of things that people do after breaking off or having huge commitments broken off for them. So yeah, I always felt that it was pretty believable and actually pretty realistic.
And it kind of sets up this great sort of Karen two-part arc, because we've heard Karen before. We know she's douchey, but now we get to see her. It's Laura Prepon, which I love, and I'll talk a little bit more in the next time when we listen to the Front Porch, and we get to see what Karen would be like in the future if Ted ended up with her. Chris, you got any last words?
No. Well, yeah, I do. I said no, but I meant yeah. Like I said, a bit of stuff about Karen, but yeah, I don't have like a big life lesson here, but the small life lesson is get the relationship that you want. That's my advice for Ted and our audience. Ted clearly wanted something. Karen wasn't able to provide it. He should have kicked her to the curb a long time ago and not gotten back together with her and had some self-respect. But like you said, this is a time in his life where he doesn't have any self-respect, because that just got kicked out of him by Stella.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why Karen would show up at this time. But no, don't be in a relationship that doesn't suit you.
No.
There's your life lesson.
Excellent. All right, so join us next time when we watch The Front Porch. We'll see you then.
Front Porch.
All right. All right, Chris, so we're ready to do the Front Porch. This is Season 4, Episode 17, follow-up to Sorry Bro, which we just watched. This is the conclusion of Ted dating Karen.
Yes, thankfully.
Yeah, she'll get a cameo in Season 5 in the episode Say Cheese, but this is the last time you get to see Ted dating Karen. This episode aired March 16th, 2009. Not directed by Pam Fryman. This one's directed by Rob Greenberg again. Pretty much the fill-in, it seems. And written by Chris Harris.
It freaks me out when Pam Fryman doesn't direct them, but okay. We'll go ahead and watch this one anyway.
Well, tell me if there's anything you spot that doesn't look Pam Fryman-ish to you.
I don't know that I'd be able to do that.
Okay.
But if you see something pointed out, because that's something that you're better at, so let me know.
So, Chris, we were talking about this episode just before, and there's a lot of fun stuff in this episode. What did you like about this one?
What did I like? The Robin's broadcast in the background, the most memorable broadcast that she has. Maybe short of the time that she lands a helicopter, without having ever taken a helicopter lesson, which is. That's a miracle.
Yeah.
About miracles. But there's that going on in the background. There's the Few Good Men reference. I like the Front Porch, the concept. I know it's the name of the episode, and it's a little right on the nose. But I think about this, in the future, like where things are gonna be, and the Front Porch test. I think is a really great way of determining the length of a relationship.
Yeah. It's fun to think that the friends that you have will be the friends that you have your whole life, and that may not be a realistic goal, but when you look forward to life like that, I think you end up having a happier life overall. Yeah. And Chris. Yeah. One of the things that I noticed about this episode was they did some fun stuff. They've got the nightshirt thing in this episode with the Marshal flying through the city, and Barney with the suit pajamas, which actually became the thing that I think people are trying to sell online. So a couple of fun things in this episode, and plus the sort of the drama of reviewing Ted's relationships up to that point and see which ones has Lily sabotaged or not.
Right. Well, she says she doesn't sabotage them if she thought that there was a future there. But still, it's like, I don't know. That's not much better. It's like, who is she to determine, whether or not it's better? The Front Porch test. That's how.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the night shirts. I didn't send you a link to the suit pajamas, I don't think. I saw it recently that yes, it is now a thing. So Barney should be happy.
It's gonna be a thing.
It's an actual thing that you can buy Amazon, and there's other websites. Just Google suit pajamas, you'll find them. They don't seem to look quite as good as Barney's, but what do you expect for $89? But,
sure.
Yeah, and I don't know. As far as the Front Porch you're talking about, maybe things won't be quite the way that you think they will. In fact, I mean, I'm sure that things won't be exactly the way that everyone thinks they will be. But, even if we don't end up in the exact same place, maybe we can still do vacations in Florida and sit on a porch, even if it's not the whole year round in a retirement community.
Right, yeah.
Hey folks, James here breaking in. Back when we first started this, we had a commentary track that we expect you to sync up with your Netflix or DVD. And since we had a lot of our fans say that they weren't really ready to do that, we decided to cut that out. And what you'll hear next is our post-commentary discussion.
And now, Lily fixed it for Ted, but again, Ted rejects a girlfriend because she wouldn't accept the group. And also because she was really douchey and cheated on him a lot.
But not just those reasons.
Yeah.
It was because she didn't accept the group.
Was
the other stuff I guess he could put up with.
Yeah. He later, he ended his second dating stint with Victoria because she wouldn't accept his friendship with Robin. So that's one of his problems in his relationships. Which I wouldn't say it's a problem. It's one of his core values, and it's not just a fine one to have.
It is. It's really. I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I guess I'm gonna go with specific. I mean, it's if the girlfriend doesn't accept my friends, then she's gone. It's cut and dry is what I'm looking for. And so like as much as things were good with Victoria, finally got a second chance with her, and things were going well. She couldn't accept Robin was his friend, and he chose his friend. And
the same friend that
romantic there.
He has a backup marriage pact with. We just saw.
Yeah, just happened right now on screen. That's a tough call. What do you think about that? I'm all over the place with what I think about that. I don't think I have
about the marriage pact.
No, about like the idea of breaking up with someone because they don't accept that you're friends with your ex, but you actually have a backup marriage pact with that ex, and you actually do end up wanting to be with that ex like 20 years down the road. Like, I mean, was Victoria right in being, I don't know, jealous, we'll just call it, or whatever it was?
So, yeah, Chris, for Victoria, it was perfectly reasonable for her to ask Robin to not be a part of their lives because she was the woman that Ted, for all intents and purposes, did cheat on her with back when they were dating in season 1. So, I don't see Robin or Victoria asking Ted to leave Robin behind at that point in his life as such a bad thing, really.
Okay. Yeah.
But here, what Karen was doing was just really douchey, so she had to go. And this is the end of the episode, basically. So I wanted to just give my thoughts on why Karen is on the list of Ted's important girlfriends, and it's. This is the last time we get to see Karen. You and I we were saying that you want to think she's in so many more episodes because she has such a memorable presence, but she's only on screen in these 2 episodes with a little cameo here and there.
Right.
But this is the last time that Ted dates Karen. And if you're Ted, you're thinking about all the women you've dated or vetted in Ted's case. And you list off the serious ones. Obviously Karen would come up because she was his high school girlfriend, is on and off, on again, off again, and this episode arc is important to show that, if you have one of those on again, off again relationships, eventually it's just off, and, you move on with your life. And this is a good place to put that story. It was several months after Ted got left at the altar. He's gone a little nuts. He's chased a couple of easy lays. He's now back to starting to think about a relationship. And it's a little too early, and Karen was never going to work out anyway. But Ted allowed himself to believe that despite the precedent that, Karen was not a faithful companion, and despite that his own knowledge that, he's not in a good place to be dating, he allows himself to believe that maybe this time Karen can be the one. Maybe this is the time that we just, I gotta try, I gotta believe. And, it's that theme of eternal optimism and willingness belief that keeps reappearing in the series. And that's kind of my diatribe on Karen. Also, Laura Prepon. She's damn sexy, but better as a redhead.
Well, I'm glad you got that out there.
Yeah.
for the universe. And for her, she's listening. I do like the eternal optimism. It's tough. I'm torn on that because I think that's a good trait to have, and I think it's a better way to live. But also, think that in Ted's case, and I think that in real life that can get you hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And
and he has some really bad girlfriends. I mean, Zoe seems to genuinely love and care about him, but she doesn't give up her own agenda. She's ultimately very manipulative. And Jeanette was just apparently, had some sort of diagnosable disorder. She was nuts.
Right.
And a police officer. So, dangerous combo.
Right. So she's kind of above the law.
Yeah.
When Ted calls the cops, she just tells them, don't bother.
Oh, yeah.
He has some doozies, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, that optimism, that eternal optimism, is great in some ways, but then it means you end up with Karen, 4 or 5 or 6 times. But even that, I guess that I'd side with you on the eternal optimism, because what's the worst that happens from all that? Is that Ted learned a valuable lesson? I mean, that's really it. That's what I get out of it, out of the episode. Like, that's really the worst thing that happened to him, is that he stays optimistic and learns, don't trust somebody after they cheat on you like the 4th or 5th time. Just 2 or 3, that's normal. But they just keep doing it, then you got to cut them loose. But he stays optimistic, and that's good.
And it's also sort of along the lines of Ted looking to the past, to old girlfriends. Like, I get the impression that they dated off and on through high school and college, but he hasn't seen her, or at least interacted with her very much, and certainly not dated her in about 5 years.
Right.
So maybe he thought, that was college douchey Ted, and maybe she was douchey back then, and maybe she's better now. And it seems like maybe she was, and maybe they were just had a vertigo, but maybe, it was just time to just close the door on Karen, that she wasn't the person for Ted.
Right. She is one of the many times that Ted looks backwards to a previous relationship, and it happens more in his times of trouble. Maybe.
Yeah.
Say that there's Karen. Well, we had a list going at one point. I'll have to look that up, but Karen, Victoria. Where's the third one?
Are you listing his serious girlfriends or his flings?
Serious girlfriends.
So yeah, there'd be Victoria, Robin, Zoe, Dr. Zimmerman, Stella,
Mm-hmm.
And then Jeanette.
Does he go back to Jeanette? I guess he does. They sort of.
And then so not actually a lot on the serious girlfriend list, but a lot of these girlfriend of the week that he needed for some story.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Like blah blah. Although she comes back.
Yeah. And we actually, that's the subject of the third installment in Karen's series, which we won't do because it's just she's on screen for about a minute and a half. But that in that Say Cheese, Ted brings some random skank to Lily's birthday and sort of ruins the birthday. And Lily goes through a catalog of group photos, and there's all the people we love in the world. And some skank that Ted brought along that day.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
He's trying. That goes back to again in this episode. It's like well, you already have yours. I'm still looking for mine. You don't get to say anything. I'll bring one around every week if I have to until it's the right one.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. And also at the very end of this episode that they don't do very often, they had that post-story gag. It wasn't post-credits, but it's the post-story gag with Barney getting out of bed out of his own bed in the nightshirt, and some super hot ladies at the door, and he is embarrassed because he doesn't have his suit pajamas. I like those short gags. They don't do those very often.
Nope, they have the calzone, another one that they do. We should make a note of those every time that they happen at the end of an episode. But yeah, she doesn't go for it because he's dressed like a slob.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he would have gotten some. Although it wasn't two of them, and it wasn't like a who's hornier contest. But he's
right.
He would have done okay.
So that's how we feel about this episode. How do you feel about this episode? Did we miss anything? What do you think about my crazy theories? Did we get anything wrong? Let us know by emailing us at himymsuperfans@gmail.com. And if you want a little bit more, go ahead and find us on Facebook. We'll post some stuff on our HIMYM Superfans group page. We'll have some updates, some pictures, different types of fish, stuff like that.
Different types of fish.
That's it for this week, folks. You've been listening to How I Met Your Mother Superfans.
And James and I get so much out of discussing the episode. We really enjoy doing this, and we hope you enjoy it too.
We'll see you next week.